the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Scene Snobs podcast. It's Friday night. I hope you feel all right because it's 8 o'clock and we're ready to roll. That's right. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by my co-host on this magic carpet ride, or essentially co-pilot, the man, the myth, the legend, producer Paul. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. It's a little hot.
It is.
I'm hydrated, but it's hot.
I got to tell you, my heat in the upstairs of my house was out since June 6th. And it's been a nightmare. We had like we were all sleeping in like one room at one point with a little air conditioner like in the window. Just to, at night try and sleep and such. So like air mattresses and such. But finally it was fixed. And I got a good night's sleep. And it felt good. It felt good.
So what's the perfect temp now that we're talking about AC in the house? Like, what's the Mick Manhattan? What's that number?
All 6'8" of me,
yeah,
probably say 42 degrees. But no, no, I like it at like 69. I'm always good with 69. Okay. 69 is where I'd love to lay my head.
Yeah,
a good 69 can turn your world upside down. It can really make you feel like you're just walking on clouds, but on your head. Well, it depends on which side you're on at the moment. But are you on the pillow side? Are you on the foot? Who knows? I mean, anyway, a good 69. But my wife, who isn't 6'8", and I mean, for the listeners out there, John Goodman-ish, circa 1991. Much nothing to argue about. That man's a genius, and I love that man. So I would say personally, she likes it at like a 72. I live there. So that's basically where I'm at. Other than that, no. But we were living at like an 88.
Oof. No.
I don't do 88 unless it's driving DeLoreans, baby, and I did not like it. So let's just say that was not for me. But how about you, man? How you doing out there in the heat?
I'm doing good, man. No, my room is 64. Period. If it's too cold, we got blankets. That's fine. You can figure it out. And even 64 sometimes is too hot, man. Honestly, when I used to be by myself, I'd just open the windows all winter long. And man, if it was 36 degrees in my room, perfect. No problem. Best sleep of my life. Colder the better.
I never minded the cold. Yeah, because I'm, like I said, I have insulation all around. So I never minded as the colder it got. Even when I was homeless, I lived in Florida. I was like, I wish it was colder in Florida. I was like, I wish I was actually homeless. Like, I wish I was living in the cold right now. Oh my God, are you in Phasmophobia?
Nope, I tapped a button. I'm so sorry.
For anybody who's not watching, you just ended up with a ghost.
Peekaboo.
How crazy would it be if like you're just doing a podcast one day and like we don't have any background? I don't have a background. And a ghost just walks behind. And like you get the first video proof of a ghost ever. And don't give me your shit about orbs. Don't give me your shit about, we've seen this. Ever. If those were proven, we would already have the first proven ghost picture ever. We don't. So I want it, and I want it on the podcast. Get in on this, ghosts. Let's go. I'll bring you in on it. Oh my God.
That would be awesome.
You have enough serial killers behind you. I think we're going to have to save you.
I should be in that picture then. Oh,
that's true.
Serial's three or more, right? There's a 4.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, then yeah, I should be in behind me then too.
You'll be good. You're going to be good. But guys, we're here. We're going to do our reviews. We have a great top 5 for you. We have a great guest joining us tonight with Sir Sturdy himself. He's a scene snob, but he can only be here every so often, and we're glad to have him. So let's kick it off. First review up today is K-Pop Demon Hunters, new on Netflix. Paul did not give me a rating, so I don't know what it is. Paul, did you watch this one perchance? It's
No,
okay if not.
I did not get a chance to see it. I wanted to, I will watch it, but I did not.
All right. Well, I shall take the helm of this one since I did see it. And I want to say to you, Paul, I think you should watch this movie. You never have to mute with me, but I think you should watch this movie. So it's funny. This gentleman I follow on TikTok, Jamal, he's another creator who discusses film, but discusses a lot of different things. And he brought up a good point about Deadpool versus Wolverine, specifically that scene where the Deadpool core is there and they're doing all the killing, and how it's sort of soulless, like there's no life to it. I've always agreed with that. I don't agree that it's a terrible scene and that it should never exist. It doesn't have merit, but it does fit within that movie, which is soulless in my opinion. It's just one of those things that it was a lot of fun to watch, but it doesn't really have something to it that really sparks you. You're just going to enjoy seeing the nostalgic things that you wanted to see and some of the things that you never got to see on the big screen before. So that's why I do like it. I like that movie. It's got a good review from me. I will watch it. It's good popcorn fodder for superhero movies. But one of that scene right there, one of the, listening to his sort of take on it was like these scenes where you're seeing one track and it's usually a fight scene. Sometimes it can be a dance scene or different things. You get that track that kind of plays out where they're fighting back. Old Boy, the original Old Boy is a really good idea of that. Like that whole fighting, it tells a tale. It's choreographed in such a way that you're learning something about these characters. But there's also this in-depth fight and turmoil that's going on between of this conflict that's going on between these characters and such. These antagonists versus the protagonists fighting back, and they're usually outnumbered in these scenes. The reason I bring that up is because K-pop Demon Hunters has a scene like that. And I think they nailed it perfectly. What bringing to life and what meaning in a situation, in a scene like that is. They did it in across the Spider-Verse when the Spider-Men are chasing him. Just sort of that track scene you follow, and it's very from left to right. Just a really good tracking scene. Now, K-pop Demon Hunters did it really well. Does it on top of a train. The animation was amazing. I thought they did a great job. I love this new beautiful sort of CGI animation that they're doing. That's sort of almost two-tone. It's shadowed differently. You see it in Into the Spider-Verse movies. You see it in a lot of the newer movies that are coming out that are animated. But K-pop Demon Hunters has it as well. This story is about 3 pop stars from Korea who are actually tasked with being demon hunters and keeping the world safe. The singing is all a part of it. They've actually, over time, a new trio of singers would come out, and they would be different types of singers throughout time and different types of music, usually pop to get the masses. This was the situation where now it's K-pop, it's being played up. When they sing, they sort of put this protective coat around the earth, and it stops demons from being able to take souls. Well, new demon who's in charge goes and he devises a plan, and we do find out through this that one of the new demon hunters is half demon herself through her father, and she has hidden. So now she has to come to terms with who she is, finding this out about herself, keeping it hidden, connecting with another demon through this. Who can she trust? Who can she not trust? It brings a lot of turmoil and strife, but the ultimate resolution we get from this is that you can't really fight evil and hatred with evil and with hatred. You've got to add love. Love is one of those main things, but it's not one of those things where they all hug and everything's good. There is some great fighting in this. There's some wonderful animation that just moves quickly, but it doesn't hurt your eyes. It's one of those things that has beautiful, whimsical sort of vibes to it, and colors that are very vibrant throughout the movie. It is just well done, and the music is fantastic. They touch down on all different sort of genres of music, and they handle it perfectly. I swear that in this movie for me was a 3.5 out of 5. That is a big deal. I'm not a huge animated movie guy. I don't hate them by any means, but I'm more of a live action person. I sat down and watched this. Sorry, Paul, for not bringing you in on this. I wish I had, but I just kind of sat down and watched it with my kids. Fell in love with it. I will watch this again, which is another thing for me. Like, I don't always watch everything again. This was worth it. This was a good one, and I do suggest people give this a try if they haven't had it already. So, Paul, you think based on my review, you would check this out?
Absolutely.
I really, and when you do, let me know, because on the show, I'd love to hear your opinion on this one.
Heck yeah, I'm excited.
But now we do have an opinion. You can share this our review of K-pop Demon Hunters. Thank you guys for watching this one. If you're watching as a clip or listening or watching the video, watching the full podcast, but we're going to get into our next review, and that is Sovereign, starring good old Nick Offerman. That's right. I gave this one a 2.5 out of 5. Very middle of the road. I'll get into why in a second. But I did, Paul, it was too quick. I didn't get a chance to make the graphic for you. But what is your rating of this before we get started?
I put it right at about a 3.5, 4 out of 5. Probably a 4 out of 5.
Okay. I like it. So cannot wait to hear why. But so everybody knows Sovereign is a tale, stars Jacob Tremblay and Nick Offerman as father and son. They recognize themselves as sovereign citizens living within the U.S. And Offerman's character is sort of you can tell he's not chilling, he's not pathetic, but he seem aimless and lost at times. Like he's grieving the loss of his wife, trying to take care of his son. He's a good father. He cares about his son. His son cares about him. They get along really well. It's not something that it's not one of those relationships where you fear like, oh, they're not good together. Where that comes in is the philosophies that he's teaching the son, and the son wants to sort of branch out from that, and he's kind of stuck in the life that they lead based on his dominating father and that. Again, not an abusively dominating, but somebody who is very manipulative in nature. He's always manipulating people that come around. So they travel around. He does a lot of work trying to help people throughout the Midwest, like recognize what sovereign citizenship is and help them with what's going on with their problems with the government. And it's just one of those worlds where he's never really paying to anything. He's losing his home. He's losing most of the stuff that he has. And it's bringing a lot of tension between him and his son. They're running in and evading the law half the time. So they're not getting evicted or they're not getting pulled over and he's not getting arrested. It's kind of one of those movies where like, it feels like a dark, dramatic road trip type of movie that turns very deadly almost too late in the movie. That's my problem with this. Like too late into the movie, we get to the actual drama. And then by the time the dust settles, it's over. You get a resolution, but you've spent so much time building, caring towards these characters that the resolution wasn't a good payoff. They've also added other characters on the other side of it that seem antagonistical, but they're really not. If you think about it in their nature, and they're never really set up to be, and then they're gone very quickly. So this movie for me was very middle of the road. I do think people should check it out. I think it's well directed. I think the cinematography is good. I think the acting is fantastic. The story was a little slow. Well, the story is very slow in my opinion. And I don't mind a slow burn, but this isn't a slow burn. This is just a dramatically slow movie. So it kind of lost me here and there. There were some parts that got a little clunky. Martha Plimpton is in it. Goonies never die, so love to see her. That was fantastic. But I definitely do think you should check out this movie. This is a promising director, in my opinion. He's a young director coming out. Seeing this movie, seeing what he did, and the fact that he wrote it as well, I could see big things from this guy. So I really did like this one. What did you think, Paul?
So I loved it because I've always been kind of a Dennis Quaid fan anyway. So it's great seeing him kind of back as the lead role. Nick Offerman, he just never disappoints in whatever he does. He always gives 100%. So after seeing his performance in, I almost said Left Behind, in The Last of Us, I was very excited to see him kind of taking more of a serious dramatic role like this. To me, he didn't disappoint. There were some lulls, I'll give you that, in it, but I think it just helped you build or just kind of give you time to think. To me, this was, I guess, almost like to me, it was kind of more of a beautiful tale of telling two fathers with different thought process. I wouldn't say ideologies because that might be too high strong to say, but two different thought processes, and kind of it's my way is right and it's my way, or not the highway, but this is the only way. And they both just don't know how to portray it to their sons correctly. I thought it was very interesting how they kind of went back and forth, and how it was kind of night and day difference, but how you both saw, like you said, both fathers were good fathers. I'm not saying either were complete shitheads one way or the other, but just different ideas.
I almost got to push back a little bit, and I think it's because it's supposed to mirror, like, whereas you see it turn for both of them. And I would have liked that aspect of it, just to kind of debate you on a little bit. If Quaid and the person who played his son, his character, was in it for a longer period of time, and the fact that I don't know his character's name, I don't, not that they don't say it, but I don't feel like they resonated enough on them.
Right.
And I think if that was like kind of interspliced between, I would have felt more when we get to this point where Dennis Quaid's son has his ordeal and his run-ins, and then he meets his fate, and I'm not giving any spoilers to what that is, but like he meets his fate, and to see Quaid's reaction to that, and how then it takes it even farther, because you do feel for Offerman and Tremblay's characters in this. I didn't really feel for the others. Right. And I think that's how they portrayed it. Now, that's because we got the bad of Quaid. He is a shitty father. I disagree. I think he was a terrible father in this movie.
Okay.
Not that he wasn't loving,
but
the way, you can love a son, but you can be a bad father.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I got from him. He's always criticizing. He was always putting down. Clearly, this guy didn't want to be a cop.
Right.
Clearly, he wasn't ready for it, or he wasn't ready for it out there and such. He's just dealing with a new baby. It's a whole different thing. And then you get to something like this, where it all kind of comes to a head, and then Quaid's character goes on, sort of his tear and what he's doing, and then all you do is you sort of feel bad for the guys who are the bad guys in this.
Right.
They are essentially like it's circumstance. It is what it is. And they do that really nicely, but I wish they had balanced it.
Okay.
Just balance those two. I probably would have liked it more if they had, because they were going for that theme. Either focus on one or equally focus on both.
Right.
So I think that's where I got disjointed in it. But that's the only thing I want to push back on. But I did like the fact that Quaid was a really terrible dad and Offerman was a great dad. And then by the time when the pressure started to sink in, Quaid becomes a little more calm and Offerman becomes a little more off. But they both had that mentality that they're both like that.
Right.
And then Offerman wasn't the greatest dad. Like he's off leaving his kid and, going off and doing his things and stuff. But like he was a loving one that showed love, and that's where this ended up. And one that didn't show love, and it's still sort of I see where it mirrored each other, but I just didn't think it was enough. I just thought it was disjointed. But I'm sorry. Please proceed.
No. And I can agree with that. And, and looking it up at the director, and like you said, with him being a writer too, I think this was a good first movie. Absolutely. So I look forward to, seeing where he goes from here, because, you're always going to be a hardest critic. So I believe this is just, a shadow of things to come. So I'm super excited. If this kind of, wouldn't say quite to the same caliber, but it almost gave me like a Civil War type feels. As far as how it was shot and just kind of grittiness. So I was excited. I feel like I forgot that director's name, and it's gonna piss me off. But for Civil War, if he had thank you.
Yeah.
If they had this script, I would have loved to see that aspect of it, because I think maybe it would have been done better to the caliber you wanted. Overall, I enjoyed it. I just thought they did a good job at telling what it was, and just kind of two different aspects of life. And like you said, it's always interesting when the pressure's on, watching kind of people change, or just who they are under pressure. Because I feel like you can tell a lot about someone when they're under pressure, or all lights on you.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy it. Rewatchability. I mean, this isn't. It's not like family and friends are coming over and I'm like, we're gonna watch Sovereign together, you guys. Let's be in a good mood. This is one to kind of watch and kind of digest and take what you can from it.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that I think are introspective in nature, and especially for young men, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, just to kind of visualize like fatherhood and like the idea of fatherhood and such, but and how that affects kids. Yeah, overall though, it was very dark. You're right. I probably not one I'm ever going to watch again, but not because I didn't like it, but
Right.
because it is one of those ones that's sort of like it's not a happy tone movie.
No,
like I'm never going to watch Long Legs as just sitting there comfortably. And the reason I bring that movie up is because the slower pacing is sort of the vibe that you get from this. And again, it's not a burn. You're not slow burning. You're just.
Right.
It's kind of one foot in front of the other, which is good for a movie sometimes. I love that. And in this case, it was a good movie to have that sort of narrative, but it didn't land fully. But great acting though. Great director. Like I said, I would like to see what else this director comes up with for sure. But let's get started on our last review of the night. Superman. Should we all chant? Superman, Superman. This one I do have your. I gave it a 4 out of 5. You gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Those are pretty stellar reviews, in my opinion. Now, Superman is James Gunn's newest film for his new DC universe. And it stars David Cornsweet as Superman Clark Kent. Of course, Rachel Brosnahan takes over the role of Lois Lane. We have tons of familiar faces and wonderful characters that show up, memorable characters that show up throughout DC in this movie. This is a movie in scope. It's not an origin tale. By the time we start off, they give you the scroll, and then Superman is ready to go. We have established who he is, what this world is, who's in it, and what's going on in it. And it does so well, and it shows so well what kind of filmmaker James Gunn is. And James Gunn I've always had a lot of respect for. I love Super. I love those early stuff, Romeo and Juliet, all that stuff from back in the day. As a writer, as a director, he has his view. I think a lot of people went into this and were like, okay, it's not stoically optimistic like Christopher Reeves. It's not dark and gritty like Henry Cavill's. It's not like it wasn't like any of the movies. And people are trying to compare it to. Honestly, I'm still on the fence about this one. I think this might be my favorite Superman.
Heck yeah.
And the reason I go with that is because it's so true. Like everybody loves a certain Superman actor. Paul, who's your favorite Superman actor? And it's fine. Any answer is fine by me.
I kind of softy for Christopher Reeves. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a terrible answer. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's a great answer. Christopher Reeves is probably the pinnacle, right? Like the shining star that you want to live up to.
Right.
But I never cared about the actors who played Superman. I care about the character.
Right.
And if you get the character right, and listen, I like Henry Cavill. I thought he was great as Superman. He had the physique, he had the look. He was dark and gritty, but he fit within the world that they're building. But I didn't love that Superman. I'm like, this just isn't Superman. I didn't love his Clark Kent. He didn't really seem to understand Clark Kent, in my opinion. This got him all right. Not just Superman, not just Clark Kent, everything. Jonathan and Martha Kent were fantastic. Felt very real. Felt like parents who really cared about their boy and just worried about him. Lex Luthor felt real. That's the weirdest part. I know exactly who he was based on, all of them, and it worked. The political narrative. Why wouldn't we have that? I don't care what people say about the political narrative. Yes, this is clearly Israel, and it's clearly Gaza, and we're getting, this story's feelings about that matter. And what Superman would do in that world if it was sort of happening, In this movie, it's a difference. Baravia, and I can't pronounce the other one. They went with like a
Something
really
crazy.
long name that starts with a J, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. And I've seen this movie 4 times now, so you would think I'd remember. But it was one of those things where, like, it not only was it interesting to have added so many like current events that are happening and people that we recognize and such. I felt like that added, yes, controversy for a lot of people because it felt like it was politicized, but I feel like it mirrors what we wanted to see. I feel like this was more realistic in tone in a comic book movie than I've seen since maybe Winter Soldier or The Dark Knight.
Okay.
And I don't understand why people are so up in arms about the controversy of the politicizing of it when you watch The Winter Soldier or The Dark Knight.
Right.
Both do the exact same. This one is just spelling it out for you, but telling it in a way that fits within the realm of like comic books. This is right out like this movie, the absurdity, how big on scale it gets. It has a black hole in it. And that's where I'm going to kick off and say this. We're going to talk some spoilers tonight, so I'll throw the ticker up. But this scope, like, and the things they do in it, they introduce characters like, and again, turn it off, come back later for the director's thing, but Metamorpho. I never thought I'd see Metamorpho on the screen. I saw people like going parademons in the last one. I'm like, no, Metamorpho was cool. That was awesome. You get Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, you get Mr. Terrific, you get Hawkgirl, and people are arguing. But this is the same people who argue that like when there's cameos from other heroes in movies, they're not in it long enough. Well, then they naturally weave these characters in to help Superman and work, and you kind of get an idea and scope of this world we're building now. So that way when Batman's in it and Wonder Woman's in it and everybody else is in it, you're like, yeah, it's believable. I'm in it. I loved it. You get a kaiju fight in it. You get Lex Luthor being Lex Luthor and have this grand scheme. I thought they did great with Ultraman. You know, there's a nice twist there for comic book fans that I think when he comes back, we're going to be really happy. Personally, I think he's Bizarro, but he could go to a different universe and become the Ultraman. We don't know. And then we can get the Dark Justice League. Oh, not Dark Justice League, but the I can't remember their names, but if we can get them, it would be amazing. It was like a evil variation of the Justice League from another universe. You know, so like he could set that up, or he could set up Bizarro or whatever. But like you got a lot of characters that just really fit. Jimmy Olsen is like a player with the ladies, which was hilarious because it's Jimmy Olsen. And it worked. He was pulling it off perfectly. Eve Tessmacher, they gave her a better role than they have in the originals. Everyone had a point. And that's very hard to do in such an ensemble piece movie as such like this, especially with a lot going on. Everyone was there for a reason. It all worked. That's great storytelling. This is a great narrative. And I'm so happy with this movie. We are back to an optimistic, non-cynical Superman that doesn't shy away from things that are happening in the world, and nor should it, because he's Superman. So I loved it. Paul, I talked my butt off about it, and I could keep going, but what did you think?
So I'm always kind of like middle of the road for superhero movies, right? Because we always know how they're going to go. I feel like a majority until now, right? So Marvel, we've gotten spoiled with. It's non-sub action, couple of laughs usually. That's it. They're pretty baseless. Usually, I'm not saying all of them. You know, don't all of you get offended. I love this. This gave me hope with DC again. This made me want to feel happy about DC again because DC tends to bleed more of the darker side of any other superheroes. I get the comics are a little more about the characters and where they came from, and it usually is darker and things of that nature. But I thought they did a great job with this. Any of the controversy stuff, I mean, you guys get over it. I mean, it's real. To me, I just think, if anything, it was a brilliant choice because it made it more real, because it's what's going on around us. So then we were able to connect to this movie more. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's showmanship. That's what you should do. That's what all movies, for the most part, should do, is tie it into at least a realm of reality to us, but enough to make it fantastical to where we enjoy it. And then we can think of what would happen if Superman was here right now.
Right.
So with all that being said, I did love it. Like that 3.5, I think was, it probably should have gotten more. I'm just not, if it's higher than that, it's Deadpool, but that's just because I curse a lot. I like dirty jokes, and that's just my style. But as far as superhero movies go, that's probably the highest I've rated just a superhero movie. And I've never really super cared about Superman. But now I'm excited for another James Gunn Superman movie. I thought it was great. I think everyone should see it. The whole family. That dog had me almost on the floor pissing myself. I couldn't get enough of Crypto, man.
Crypto
I was like,
best.
that's going to be my future dog. I swear. I'm going to get a rescue pup and be like, I love you so much. And that dog's just going to throw me around like that, just constantly piss me off.
That dog was the best. And the fact that it was a rescue from James Gunn. Like that's his dog. And he shared on TikTok. It's not an all-white dog. Like it's like a black and white spotted, a white dog with black spots, and it's adorable. Mm-hmm. And they filmed him watching the trailer and chasing Crypto around.
Okay.
I thought that was fantastic. And like Crypto was just a wonderful addition. Crypto is always special, like for people who read the Superman comics, because Crypto's his dog and it's man's best friend. And Superman was always alone. So when he finally found Crypto, he had like a best friend. You know, he had somebody that was always by his side and always protected him. Always. Right. He pulled Crypto out of the Phantom Zone, realizing who he was. Like he was oh my God, that was such a good one. So this was perfect. He was annoyed with him, but they loved each other. And like and one of the things about this movie that really resonated with me was the showing of his humanity. That was what I've always argued about Superman. I have a lot of people who tell me Superman is boring, Superman. And I always said, I was like, the best part about Superman is Clark Kent is who he is.
Right.
Superman is who he puts on. Yes, he has those powers. Superman is Clark Kent being allowed to be all of himself. But Clark is still there. Right. Clark is still prevalent. People, I don't think, realize that about Superman. Clark never leaves Superman. Like Bruce is who he was named, what he was named. Batman is who he became and who he is, and that's all he wants to be. Superman is like, if you notice, most of the heroes call him Clark when nobody's around. Right. You know, most people call him Clark. You know, he calls other people by their names because he recognizes their humanity and he wants the best of them. He doesn't want to see Batman as just Batman. He wants Batman to be Bruce because that's his friend and he wants him to love his humanity. That's what it's all about. So when I watched this, I was like, you pegged it. I was like, the first Jewish actor to play Superman. And for anybody who understands the history of Superman, when they wrote him, there was two Jewish writers who were basically teenagers. I think they're like 19 or 20 or something like that. Wrote Superman at a time in 1938 when they were watching other Jewish people being completely persecuted against and just treated horribly by the Nazi party during that time. So they built Superman as a way to be sort of an allegory for like Jesus and like their idea of a Messiah coming to save them, and it was a Jewish hero in look and feel and like what they were going for. And he fought for what they thought should be the American way. You know, truth, justice, a better tomorrow, which is the new saying, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, which is controversial to people, is what the American way was to them. The American way is a better tomorrow for everyone. So that's what I love about it. That's what I've always felt about it. And the fact that they picked a Jewish Superman this time around and he works so great, that's fantastic. I think that just adds layers to it. And David, keep going, my friend. And oh my God, Rachel Brosnahan is, in my opinion, she's the best Lois Lane. 100%. 100%. And when they picked her, I was like, I wonder if they're going to do it in the past, kind of like what they're doing with Fantastic Four, because she was Maisel in Marvelous Miss Maisel. And I was like, she's a Spitfire. And I always said when I watched that show, I was like, with the look and with the way she talks, she would make a great Lois Lane from back in the day. And then they announced her, and I'm like, I wonder if they're going to do that. But she was such a great contemporary Lois Lane. She's the best. And I love Margot, but I love Terry Hatcher. Erica Durance was great. I can't think of her name on Superman and Lois, but she was fantastic too. But Lois has always been the backbone. Lois is the one that really keeps him on the straight and narrow. You know, like his parents were growing up, and then she's that for him, and she really brings out the humanity in many ways. And I just love that she does that. And in this, we got to see her and her perspective of seeing his humanity and like how that message comes out about the parents. And it was real. The parents wanted him to take over, but it was the Kents who taught him it's so much more. And I think they just handled it well. So go see this on the big screen. It's worth it. I loved it. You're sticking with 3.5. I'm sticking with 4. Thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure I also do written reviews. You can go check those out as well over on Substack or Letterboxd. I put a few more things in there whenever I do them, but thank you guys for watching this one. We're going to bring Sturdy in just a second, but it is time for our top 5 countdown of new directors. Let's get into it, shall we? You ready, Freddie?
Yeah. I'm always ready.
Let's bring Sturdy Birdle in.
Remote.
And then he's gonna. I think he was. He's trying to turn off his TV, and that's why I brought him in.
No, I was trying to turn my sound back on.
What's up, James?
Yes.
Well, guys, we're gonna do our top 5 new directors. Sturdy, did you set up a list or no?
I didn't even know we were doing this part of it.
That's right. You can just hang out with us.
But I'm gonna listen.
Let's start with number 5 before we get to our brackets. Kind of motor through. What do you got for me, Paul?
I do have a quick. What was the criteria? Like on new? How new?
I put 15 years. I was like in the last 15 years. They sort of. I mean, you guys could have your own parameters. I always leave it open, but that's my parameter on this. So.
Okay.
Who is your?
I'll try to come up with something.
I don't think you should. I think it's a terrible idea that you do that.
Well, that's too bad. I'm gonna do it anyway.
You guys are a mess.
Paul, what's your number 5?
What is my number 5? I'm trying to find my list right now. Can you do your number 5 right now?
Yes, I can. Absolutely. My number 5 is Jordan Peele. He's come out. He's got 3 very strong films in the horror world. I hope he continues on in that. I think he's a fantastic director. Look, feel, story, vibe. Technically, he nails it. He understands comedy, understands horror, timing, everything. He's a great director. We're going to see great things from. So, how about you, Paul? What's your number 5?
So my number 5, I kind of cheated because that's what put this director on the map for me. So don't judge me too much. It's the last 15-ish years, and that's Wes Anderson with Fantastic Mr. Fox.
In fairness, Bottle Rocket came out in 1996. No, you're good. Here's why I would argue for Wes Anderson the way you put it. If you look at Grand Budapest, I think that was a turning for him. He became sort of a new type of director after that movie. And it became more of a diorama sort of set. We stopped getting the broader scope of out in the real world mixed with the dioramas. So I think I would make that. I'd say that works, especially knowing how you feel about like his newer movies. Mm-hmm. I think that works within it. All right, I'll go first on this one. Number 4 is Celine Song. She just did Materialists. I didn't love Material. She's a good director. I like the direction of it. I think, unfortunately, that was miscast with Dakota Johnson. I don't think she's a very good actor, but I think Celine Song is a very good director. I like to see more from her. I think she tells very interesting romance stories that have twists to them, that not so much twists, but like they have like sort of a depth to them that just really lands every time. Past Lives is amazing if you haven't seen it. Materialists works in a lot of ways. Again, it's the acting that throws me off. And there's certain story plot points that I'm just like, that was stupid. But that's my feeling on it. What's your number 4?
My number 4, I'm going to butcher their last name. It's Michael and Danny. I can't say their last name from Talk to Me.
Oh, I don't know their last name, but I do know because they did Bring Her Back too. I haven't seen that one yet. I need to check that out.
Philip Ho. I'm sorry for mispronouncing y'all's last name if you ever watch this, but I'm shouting you out.
Hey, it's fantastic. And they could probably do some big things for sure. I mean, 2 movies right out of the gate that were just like, well done. And again, I haven't seen Bring Her Back, but I've been reading reviews and such by people I trust.
I do see. I'll watch the Demon Hunters. You watch this because I really want to know your review on that because you know how much I distasted for that movie.
You didn't like Bring Her Back?
Oh God, no.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm interested. I want to see.
We'll have to talk about but no.
I didn't see. I still got a fucking damn.
No, you don't. You don't. Sturdy.
Wait. I have to watch it. Like you're getting a good. I gave it a good review. I gave K-pop Demon Hunter like, hey, you're gonna like.
And I'm telling you, this one. I mean, they broke. No.
Yeah, but you're making me watch it now. When you watch a good movie, like that's like me being like, hey man, you should watch Godfather. Oh, I will. Why don't you watch Blood Lake?
They're both great in their own way, Mick.
You shut your mouth.
That's a lie.
All right, let's do number 3. What you got for? Oh, and I do 3. I go first. I have Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho. I love Parasite. Oh my God, Mickey 17 made me I thought it was fantastic. So creative, so different. He's amazing director. Oh, Snowpiercer too.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I did like Snowpiercer a lot.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler for me. I mean, Black Panther, come on. You can't. Creed, forget about it. Coogler is...
Where did we land on Sinners for you? Where did you like Sinners?
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
I think you said there's just not enough KKK members in it.
Yeah, that part.
That's what it was. Okay, nice.
I'm gonna go cry
Anybody
now.
who hasn't seen that movie, I hope that made you go, I need to see this movie. 'Cause
Sinners is awesome. Sinners is
Imagine
awesome.
that. That'd be wild.
it would be cool. I like Coogler. That was a good pick. All right, number 2. Mine is Ryan Coogler.
That's
I
awesome.
love Ryan Coogler. I think he's one of the best new directors out right now, and he's only done like 4 films. No, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it might be 4 or 5. So, I mean, that's so young, and then you have Sinners, and it's just like, just decide to make a horror movie, and you make one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made a drama,
going
made one of the best, most memorable of all time, an independent drama. Made a superhero movie. It's probably the most memorable of all the Marvel.
Yeah.
If
100%.
not Infinity War, just because of scope and Endgame. But Black Panther's right up there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your star dies, and you make a movie that's still good.
Right.
You replace him, and it's still really good. Oh man, this guy's good. Like that's a testament to how good of a filmmaker that guy is.
It's amazing.
All
Ari Aster is my number 2. Of course, Hereditary. Fucking, I loved Hereditary.
I respect it. I don't love it.
You didn't love Hereditary?
I don't love Hereditary. I don't love it.
I love that movie, man. I might watch it tonight to fall asleep to. That's such a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, actually, yes, it is easy to fall asleep to.
Nah, it's not even like that. It's just a comfort
Super
movie.
boring.
I fell asleep. What did I fall asleep to last night? Fell asleep to The Grudge.
That's
I love
not
hearing that
fair.
weird sound.
I don't mean to make you sound twisted.
I'm
But
twisted.
knowing you and you saying to me, I fell asleep to this horrific horror movie. Like, I was watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre and get the best night of my sleep of my life. Yeah. That's a Paul. That's a Paul trait. And I respect it.
That's
I'm
good.
not upset by it.
Somebody
You have
else.
to understand that some people ain't doing that.
True.
I hear those chainsaws and I'm like, he's around. Paul's like hears them and he's like, I'm gonna sound like one of those chainsaws in about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
100%. If I want a great night's sleep, I'll put on Rob Zombie and turn it all the way up. The screams and all everything. I'm like, yeah.
You're just like Henry with that, yo. Like when
I-
we were
I-
kids / young teens, this fool would be falling asleep listening full blast, his headphones in his ears, listening to like Slipknot and stuff, all this yelling, and keeping it. Yo, we had to tell him, like, yo, you gotta turn that shit off, man. We're trying to sleep too. I don't know how this is like a lullaby to you, but it don't work for everybody else.
Listen, there's some music on there that, like, if I'm in the mood, you listen to it and you'd be like, "What is going on?" Like he sounds like he's going to war. That's a different story. Movies wise, like it, and only because it's like it gets me in that mood of like, what if they come in? What am I going to do? Dennis Hopper, this situation with some chainsaws myself. Start fighting, chainsaw fighting. I'd go full Mandy if that were the case, but that's just me.
Just got to use your hands. Got to enjoy it. You're only going to get one chance to defend your house, probably statistically. So,
All
enjoy
due
it,
respect to you, Paul. You're as a co-host, you're a psychopath.
I know.
All right, number 1. So my number 1 is Eggers, Robert Eggers.
I respect that.
Lighthouse, Northman. Was it Nosferatu? Like, I mean, this guy is just killing it on all cylinders. What's your number 1 though?
It's Jordan Peele, 100%,
Nice. Okay.
all the way. It has to be. Jordan Peele just blows me away. Each movie just gets, in my opinion, almost better and better. And I mean, the rewatchability on all three of those films is insane.
Love it. I love it. Well, that's our top 5 new movie directors. Next week, we're going to be doing our top 5 classic movie directors. And then we'll be finishing off on our part 3 with our top 5 directors of all time. It can be anybody. It doesn't have to be anyone.
Spielberg. There you go.
I'm very much interested in unpacking that with you.
It's all for different movies too. You could be like, okay,
it's good. I'm very interested, and if you want to do that as your list, you put those movies on there. I'll talk about it. You know me. I'm down with it. Like that's and I don't hate Spielberg by any means. I love Spielberg, but
right.
But let's get started on our main topic tonight, which is part 1 of our movie directors bracket. So I'm going to pull up the list now. We're going to go through all of the seeds. There's 32 seeds here because there's 64 names. So let's go through. We're going to get it down to our top 32. All right, guys, are you ready to see what's going to happen? First up, seated number 1 in 64 is David Lean. Now, this was all randomized. I put all the names, and it took me forever to get this list together. And then I put all the names down into AI. I did use AI to randomize this for me, which I love. It's so much easier to just be like, you guys do it. Here's how it's going to work. Paul and I will debate. Sturdy, you are going to be the tiebreaker. If you have anything to say about both directors, please jump in. But ultimately, we'll each vote first, and then Sturdy, you will be the tiebreaker on it. Sound good? Now, everybody out there in the comments, please feel free to join in. I want to hear what your picks are as well, because your picks could sway our vote. Now, let's start. Let me get one thing up here. So I am aware of everything I need to get started. So anyway, the first ones are David Lean and, of course, what's his name? Quentin Tarantino. Now,
what's his name?
Quentin Tarantino. I'm sorry, I'm pulling up the thing. It got away from me. No, so anyway, okay, so we're doing Quentin Tarantino and David Lean. Do you guys know these directors?
Yes.
Now, David Lean, epic scope director, movies like what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank when we're talking about
Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia's one. Was it Bridge on the River Kwai? You know, he's done some epically scoped movies, right? So, now with that being said, what do you guys think about those types of movies? Now, Sturdy, have you seen any of David Lean's movies?
I don't think so. Not the ones you mentioned, at least.
Okay.
Oh, Lawrence of Arabia. It's great. Oh,
it is great. It's worth seeing, especially for the scope of it. Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia, Bridge on the River Kwai, Dr. Zhivago, all great films, all highly memorable films for sure. And I just wanted to have that list readily available too. So, who are we going with? But we also have Quentin Tarantino, which has some amazing names. Like, I want to hear what everybody saying in the comments. Please let me know. Let's discuss it. But all right, we got nobody in the comments. What about you, Paul? Who are you fighting for in this? Who do you think deserves to go forward in this list?
I'm absolutely. I got to go with Tarantino. Not that David Lean didn't do his part, and that scope work is amazing, but for me, it's what can withstand time, right? I could never introduce a friend that's been like, I only watched 20 movies my whole life. Choose a movie to watch. I could never put on Lawrence of Arabia. He's never going to listen to me again and be like, I don't get that time back. He won't appreciate it. So that's, I think, someone that appreciates film and good storytelling and character development. At scope work, loves good cinematography. Quentin Tarantino he does all of that, but it's very entertaining and it draws your attention immediately for all of his films. I mean, Tarantino does amazing. So I think because of that, I'd say Tarantino.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this is going to be a hard fight for me. I love David Lean. I love David Lean's movies, but you're right. It's not ones I'm going to all that often. Maybe Bridge on the River Kwai the most. But even then, I can put on The Great Escape, and I do think that's like a better movie, a war movie. But not to be comparison or split hairs, but I got to go with Quentin Tarantino. I think he's got more of an impact. So to me, it's easy. It's two. What do you think, Sturdy? David Lean or Quentin Tarantino?
I'm just gonna say Tarantino because I've seen some of his films. I've never seen any of David Lean's work, so I can't
That's fair.
cast a vote for him. Wouldn't make sense.
So we're moving on. Tarantino to the next round. So all right, let me put that off. There we go. So you see, I made up my own little thing. Now, who's Tarantino going to go up against? This is going to be an interesting one. We have in the next one Ridley Scott versus William Wyler. Anybody who doesn't know who William Wyler is, it is let me pull that up. What number was he? I have a whole list. So he was 63. All right. William Wyler directed Roman Holiday, The Best Years of Our Lives, and Ben-Hur. All amazing films. Ben-Hur is probably one of the largest scope movies to ever be directed. Just amount as much that went into that. But then you have Best Years of Our Lives, which a lot of people probably haven't seen, but is a fantastic take on post-war livelihood. And actually, I would love for you to watch that, Paul, because you had talked about Chris Kyle in the past and like the Sniper, American Sniper. Yeah. This is a movie that deals with the themes of coming home from war and dealing with PTSD, dealing with like being away from war after you've been there, being in the military and such. Also disabilities and stuff like that. I think you might enjoy it. It's post-World War II. It's a good film.
I'm about to write that one down.
And Roman Holiday, which Audrey Hepburn's first movie. We all know Audrey Hepburn, amazing. And of course, the great Gregory Peck. But I mean, it's Ridley Scott, Gladiator, Alien. I mean, personally, to me, I'm going to fight for Ridley Scott on this list. I love William Wyler, and he made some great movies. But Ridley, I think, made more of an impression and an impact. And I can tell by your grin.
I mean, Hannibal, Blade Runner. You already know where I'm at. So, I mean, on top of the Alien.
Hannibal? Wait, you went with Hannibal?
Hannibal and Blade Runner for
Alien.
Well, you already said Alien. I was trying to go a little different.
Get mad at you. That's why I
and you know I love Blade Runner. Blade Runner, fucking A. Gosling and Blade Runner. I feel them every day.
No, I agree with you. I like that. I like your pick. So, how about you, Sturdy? Is it Ridley Scott or William Wyler?
It's gonna be the same as last with Scott because I've never seen any of the other person's films at all. So
nothing wrong with that. And I'm looking forward to the next round, honestly. Like because these two going against each other, it's gonna be pretty epic. All right, who's ready? For the next one, Barry Levinson, director of movies like Get Shorty, Men in Black, tons of more. And F.W. Murnau, who directed the original Nosferatu. He directed the Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans, and Faust. Faust was a great. They're all silent films. He was a filmmaker. I was way ahead of his time. I'm going to tell you right now, Barry Levinson wins this for me. Barry Levinson makes more popcorn movies. I think he's a better director in terms of scope and just the idea that we're way ahead of where Murnau was. But I do respect Murnau and what he put forth. Now, I can't wait to hear what Paul has to say.
Well, I'm going to go with Barry because of Toys and Bandits.
Okay, I dig that. I like that a lot. That's a good list.
Especially Toys. It's so slept upon. People are like, Robin Williams in a movie called Toys. What is this?
But I mean, it's more than that. I mean, he directed Rain Man. He directed what's the other one? Good Morning Vietnam.
That's right.
You know, like what else did he direct?
Oh, The Diner. Jesus, I forgot.
Oh my God, Diner's such a great film. Oh yeah, I have to go Levinson. That's me personally. How about you, Sturdy? What you got for
me? Again, I've never heard of the other one. Levinson, just for the one movie Men in Black. And who the hell didn't like that movie? Or the song?
Everyone didn't like it. You know that. Yeah, that song was a beast back in the day. You gotta bounce with me. Gotta bounce.
I say the same thing about Wild Wild West. Well, love the song, hate the movie for that one.
You hated the movie? I love how crappy it is.
Wild Wild West.
I haven't seen it. I remember I went to go see that. My mother took me, my younger brother, my younger cousin to go see that in the drive-ins. And all I remember from that movie is these fools dancing in front of the truck to the Wild Wild West. And the movie was over.
Wild Wild West, baby.
My mother was getting so, get in the truck so we can leave.
I want to show that one to my kids. I feel like that's a movie that kids will really enjoy.
I mean, maybe.
It might be a good introduction to Westerns for my kids, too.
So there's a million ways to die in the West when they're old enough.
When they're old enough.
Yes.
I'm not quite there yet. I don't think I'm ready.
Play Back to the Future 3. That's going to be your safest family bet.
No, there's plenty of safe Western movies. Feifel goes.
That's a good one. I assume your kids already love all Back to the Futures. To me, that's just an easy boop.
I don't think. I didn't. Tommy saw it on the big screen with me.
Did you like it?
Yeah, no, they like it. They both seen it. I think they're still young and trying to figure it out, but they like it. Like, it's fun. There's a great car in it. They go back in time. Marty seems cool to them. You know, Doc is eccentric. So, like, it has all those elements there. I'm anxious to see if they like it, though.
I got you.
You know, when they get older and they understand it. So I'll see, because that's my favorite movie. So, but I recognize that's my favorite movie. A lot of it's nostalgia, and they'll never understand that. You know,
right? The Stupids. I feel you. I get it. That's my yeah.
Don't compare the Stupids to Back to the Future. I won't allow it.
I was hoping you just let it slide. I'd be like,
I'm not going to let that slide. If you had compared it to anything else, I might have, but not Back to the Future. There's no nostalgia with Stanley Stupid.
Yes, there is.
All right, we got on the next up. We have Sidney Pollack versus Alfred Hitchcock. It's Hitchcock.
Right. There's not.
This is
a joke. I'm sorry.
But I want to give credit to Sidney Pollack, who is a fantastic director with an amazing filmography. And if you guys haven't seen his movies, like Tootsie, Out of Africa is a well-directed film and a very big scope film. A lot of people may not like it. It's a very big romantic drama with Meryl Streep and Robert Redford. So if you're into those actors and who that is, it's a good movie. Go check it out. But I can understand if some people aren't in it. Now, the good thing about Sidney Pollack was he did such character-driven movies that were fantastic. Tootsie was amazing. 3 Days of the Condor, great little spy film. Go check these movies out. Sidney Pollack, especially in the 70s, 80s, really was destroying it. And he was doing it in a way where, like, all these huge directors like Spielberg and Scorsese were getting all these accolades for Lucas, stuff like that. Pollack comes up and he just makes really good character-driven pieces with good narratives and fun plots. And I just think that he deserves a lot more credit than he gets. But it's Alfred Hitchcock. It's hard to argue that Alfred Hitchcock's not going to get this. I think my fans of this show would castrate me, provided that we find out that what do you call it? That I don't pick Alfred Hitchcock. I
value your opinion. I would respectfully disagree with you and then very disrespectfully talk shit later on, but that's okay.
But I agree with you this one.
Yeah, I know.
What about you, Sturdy? Is it Alfred Hitchcock or Sidney Pollack?
Mick, I'm going to tell you something. No. I'm going to change it up. Yeah. Here's why I'm picking Alfred Hitchcock. Okay. I've told you plenty of times how I feel about Janet Leigh, a.k.a. Jamie Lee Curtis's mother. No disrespect, but in Psycho, that's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I respect that. Hell yeah.
You want to watch Janet Leigh?
As a matter of fact, she's like my biggest crush in horror of all time from that movie.
That's wild.
I love the look. I love the. I just
Sturdy.
Don't take it away from me, Mick.
No, I'm not. I'm not. If I'm anything, I'm going to enhance it for you.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I know it's a musical.
No,
but it has Dick Van Dyke, so that's okay. No, just hear me out. Hear me out. Trust me. Janet Leigh in Bye Bye Birdie. If you are attracted to her in Psycho, you need to watch Bye Bye Birdie. It's not a full, like, everybody sings all the time musical, It's about a rock star that's going into the army, and he goes to this small town to do like a PR thing with one of the girls in town, and it creates turmoil in the town. So like there's rock music in it for the 60s and stuff like that, and it plays up the Elvis idea and stuff things. So it's an interesting movie. It's Anne Margaret's first movie, arguably one of the most beautiful women in film ever. Janet Leigh is in it and plays an amazing role, arguably another one of the most beautiful women ever. Dick Van Dyke is in it, and he is absolutely fantastic. And they give speed to a turtle. So if that sells it on you, they give speed to a turtle and it works.
Only thing that's gonna sell on me is Janet Leigh.
And when you get to the scene where everybody thinks she's a stripper, you're gonna be even happier. It's a wild, weird scene, but you'll love it. She's very, very sexualized and really just shines in that one. So next up on our list, Orson Welles versus Martin McDonagh. Now Orson Welles, of course, we know Touch of Evil, brilliant film noir. If anybody hasn't seen it, and he's great in it. He stars in it. Citizen Kane. The things it did for the technical side of filmmaking are brilliant. Still talked about even as a narrative. It's just tons of movie, Othello, things like that. So just tackled so much, and he's an amazing director. But Martin McDonagh, In Bruges, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Banshee of Inisherin. He's a new filmmaker that, like, you know, he's been out for about 20 years now, but so he doesn't fit the frame of like our top 5 tonight, but amazing filmmaker, does great work. In Bruges is brilliant. These other movies are fantastic. I'm going to go Orson Welles because the guy changed the game in a lot of ways. And Martin McDonagh still has a long career with great movies that are going to keep coming out. But I don't think if he faces Orson Welles, he makes it through. What about you guys? What do you think? And you can pick however you want, like even if you just like other movies.
I agree with Orson Welles because I love Citizen Kane and The Trial. So,
oh my God, The Trial. God, that's such a good one. It's such like a low-key movie from him too.
Because I didn't like In Burgess as much, and some of the other ones Martin did.
Oh, that's okay. You just didn't understand it.
I probably didn't, honestly, because Colin Farrell's thick accent that
I say that jokingly. That's gonna be interesting. Like I hate when people do that when you say I didn't like something, they're like, you didn't understand it. It's like, okay, yeah, I just didn't get it. You got it. And that last time I'm mad because the last one I heard that about was Superman, and I'm like, you're right.
I
have boxes upstairs that prove you wrong, but whatever. Let's talk about that.
That's how everyone made me feel with Tenet, because I didn't get Tenet. I didn't like that movie. That movie sucked me. I didn't get it. People were like,
wait a minute. That movie sucked you and you didn't like it?
Yeah, I watched that once in theater and was like,
never mind. I take it back. I get it.
Yeah, it was a 2 out of 5. It was a 2 out of 5 sucking. It did not enough suckage, I guess.
That can be a problem.
It can be, especially when you're 69ing, which is apparently my favorite thing, I guess.
All mouth, no sucking.
I'm kind of stalling on this one. It's going to hurt a little bit. George Romero, one of my favorite directors of all time. The man talked me into going to film school.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize the Coen brothers, and I recognize Joe Coen is probably a better filmmaker. Not probably, I know he is. But I don't think I can go against George Romero. I might need you guys. Now, keep in mind, Joe Coen, director of Fargo, The Big Lebowski, the millions of movies he's done. Not millions, but like so many amazing movies he's done that were just brilliant. George Romero, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Land of the Dead. No, Monkey. Was it Monkey Shines? The Crazies. Oh my God, he's just done so many wonderful things. I can't pick. I might lose my mind on this one. No Country for Old Men. Oh my God. I can't go against Romero. I can't go against him. I'm gonna need you guys too.
Okay, no problem. Even though I love horror, I know this is going to sound very confusing. I got to go with Joel because of No Country for Old Men and Burn After Reading.
Oh,
Those two
nice.
movies I love, especially No Country for Old Men. What a fucking great movie!
It was such a great movie, and that is honestly like that. That's their version of a horror movie. He is Michael Myers with an air canister. It's funny. He's fantastic through it.
Call it. Oh,
Sturdy,
fuck.
you pick, and whoever you pick goes forward.
I'm picking Romero. I'm a horror guy. I got to go with
Okay.
what I'm more like. I got to go with what I'm more likely to watch.
I'm gonna get killed by a lot of people on this, but like I can't. I mean, listen, it's my list. I don't give a fuck. You can get as mad at me as you want.
People, if you get upset about his list, just see the names on here. Do your own. Take the time to do your own. That's it.
That's fair. But that's the make or break of brackets and random seating.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro. This is gonna be a tough one.
Is it?
Well, it's Frank Capra, of course. It's a Wonderful Life. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I love that movie. It Happened One Night. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. So many more. I love Frank Capra Jr.'s work, and I think people forget. Like they look at it and they're like, oh, these are these last Boy Scout type of movies. Like we're like, not last Boy, but these Boy Scout type of movies where like it's this hero comes in, it's might or right. But if you watch those movies, like suicide is a main theme in a lot of his movies, which for the 30s and 40s, that's huge. Shop Around the Corner, great film, stuff like that. So like Capra is tough for me, but I mean, he's up against Guillermo del Toro, The Shape of Water, The Orphanage, so many wonderful films. I don't know. Who do you go with, Paul? I think.
Del Toro. Pan's Labyrinth blew my mind as a kid. I still love that. It's a beautiful fairy tale, and I also love The Orphanage too. Some of it goes to being nostalgic too, because I remember those are the first foreign films my dad took me to go see. But those movies were great, especially Pan's Labyrinth. I absolutely love that. Shape of Water was great. Hellboys were good. I loved his versions of Hellboy. I
could see your dad liking Del Toro a lot. He seems like he would.
Yeah, he did, surprisingly. And
well, I'm going to be honest. I think your father's more of a horror fan than he lets on.
100%.
Like, I know he loves the horror, but like even when I was talking to him, like I saw him like smiling and a lot of stuff there, and I'm like, that's a horror fan right in his heart. Mm-hmm. Touched. Yeah. No, but it was a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
It was nice because like when I met him this year, like it was just really nice to see. Like he was like smiling. He's like, this is, and like hearing his stories too, like The Exorcist and stuff like that. So yeah, it was very cool to see. But you know what? You say Del Toro. I think I know what Sturdy says. Who's Frank Capra?
Even though I have my issue, a huge issue with Del Toro, and he knows why.
What? Do we know why? Wait, how does he know why?
Listen, because of the movie Mama, they decided to put that movie out and do that nonsense instead of another Friday the 13th. Had I seen Frank Capra's movies, I would have picked it just out of spite, but I can't pick them because I'd be lying. So that's the only reason you're getting a pass this time because I haven't seen his movies, Del Toro.
I'm going undecided. They're both so great in my opinion. Maybe a cop out, but we already got a 2-1, and that's the rule name of the game here. Once we get a 2-1,
if that's the case, I'll pick Frank.
Oh, a 2-1 is from the already. You already picked Go.
Oh man,
and like he is in scope wise. Again, more advanced. It's progressed so much, and like what he does, he tells more intricate stories. So it's hard to really argue. Oh boy,
this is easy. What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's mean. You think Wes Anderson is better than David Fincher?
No, I don't. I'm just saying this is an easy.
Oh, okay. But I don't know that I don't know that I don't think that either. Like I egregiously got upset with you because I thought you thought Wes Anderson was better than Fincher. And in reality, I'm like now saying he might be though. I can't make up my mind with some of these. Oh, of course, Fincher, for anybody who doesn't know, directed amazing movies like Fight Club, Seven, The Social Network, Zodiac, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
God bless.
So many more. He did House of Cards. He did so many.
Alien 3, The Game.
He did do
Sorry, The
Aliens.
Killer. Gone Girl.
The Game. I love The Game.
The Game.
Gone Girl. He did Gone Girl.
He did do Gone Girl, which was a very good movie. Wes Anderson, The Royal Tenenbaums, Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel. I love Rushmore. I love all of his movies, really, even like Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was more of a recent watch for me. And as some others, like just like Darjeeling Limited was great. He does great short films. So I do. I don't know who to put. All right, I'm going to do this on sheer feeling. If I have two directors I have to choose from out of these two to watch at this moment, I would probably go Fincher first. So if I go on pure feeling, I'm going with Fincher. What say you, Paul?
Oh, Fincher all the way. Yes, sir.
All right. What say you, Sturdy?
I'm with you both on that one.
All right, Fincher goes ahead. And of course, you know, Trent Reznor's music being used often gives it a really good vibe. You know, I love his movies. All right, let's see what we got now. Who's up? Clint Eastwood versus Howard Hawks. Clint Eastwood makes fine-looking movies. I think they can be soulless at times. I also think that he has a one-sided view personally and politically, which distorts the movies that he makes.
Oh, I did see that.
Not like the themes of his movies are very outdated. His themes of his movies are what I think most people envision when they hear "Make America Great Again," which still is a problem for me. Yeah. Which, I mean, he was Dirty Harry, but so does that mean that they're bad? But like Juror Number 2, I liked that movie last year. It was one of my favorites of last year. It was in my top 10 of 2024. It was a really well done movie. But then you get things like American Sniper. You get things like Gran Torino. Again, okay films. They're fine films. They're not $1 Million Baby, which is probably one of his better ones.
Really? Oh, well, you said one of his better ones. Okay.
One of his better ones. Yeah. I mean, his earlier directing, well, I shouldn't say his earlier because the stuff in the 80s was dog shit. But I like In the Line of Fire. You know, stuff like that. Like the 90s into the 2000s, I thought he did a really good job. And then like he did Hereafter. And from there, it was like, okay. You know, like he did a Richard Jewell movie. Did I need a Richard Jewell movie? No.
Yes?
No. Do you really needed a Richard Jewell movie?
If anything good came from that movie, I didn't even know who Richard Jewell was until I watched that movie. Then I was like, oh, I just never.
If anything good came in that movie, it's that Paul Walter Hauser, who's a fine actor, and he's a big dude who probably wouldn't get roles just based on his look normally. And I'm not saying that against him, but that was Hollywood for the longest time. But somebody gave this guy a chance, and he kills it in every role he does. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fat guy power out there in the world. As a fat guy, I appreciate you, Paul Walter Hauser. Please don't be like a bad person. Please don't end up like having scandals. From what I understand, that guy went out and he became a wrestler after he became famous. So I appreciate it. He seems like a geek. I love Paul Walter Hauser. He played Richard Jewell, so go see it for that reason. Anyway, I'm talking over the great Howard Hawks. Rio Bravo. He directed a great movie called Red River. I love His Girl Friday, Bringing Up Baby. Some of the very early romantic comedies that were fantastic with like Katharine Hepburn. If you guys haven't had a chance to see those movies, to me, this is a no-brainer. Howard Hawks goes ahead.
Ooh.
Howard Hawks, I think, is one of the finest filmmakers ever, and I think he's one of the most underrated from cinephiles. I think he was overshadowed by like John Ford, who is who on this list I would be surprised if he doesn't end up in the final four personally. But Howard Hawks was up there and was making movies just as good, in my opinion. Maybe not in scope, maybe not in the way it looks and stuff like that, but he was making really good character pieces, good stories, and they made him look good. So I know you guys are probably going to go with Eastwood.
Yeah,
but I want to
Mystic River just alone. I'm sorry, Mystic River was great. I loved Mystic River. Don't shake your head at me. And then I just recently watched Flags of Our Fathers. I did love that movie. Yeah, those two movies though.
I didn't like Flags of Our Fathers. It was fine. It was okay. Actually, the one guy in it, Adam Beach, reminds me of you.
Oh God.
Face wise, like you guys, I don't know what it is. Like you guys sort of like look similar in facial. I don't know. It's
might be my dad. If Sturdy's not my dad, he might be my dad. Or no, Dan's my dad. Shit.
Dan's your dad. That's what it is.
He's in Florida without me. Jerk.
He's in Florida without me. They didn't invite me. It's probably for the best. Nobody wants me around. I'm not that fun. So they're not even watching this right now. They're watching Joe Bob.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Bums. So, you're a bum, Dan. No. You're not a bum.
All of them are good guys, so I appreciate them. But now, with that, I will say though, Howard Hawks, like we were talking about, like Flags of Our Father. Like I didn't love that movie so much. I really loved Letters to Iwo Jima. And I think like when he's out of his wheelhouse, you get films like that. He doesn't go out of his wheelhouse too much, though. It's like he hears something, he's like, I'm going to make a movie about it from the Eastwood perspective. I assume that's what he sounds like whenever he talks. But I do love Clint Eastwood, but I got to go Howard Hawks. So you vote Clint Eastwood. Sturdy, you're the tiebreaker. What do you got for me?
Howard Hawks.
Okay. Is it because Eastwood likes to talk to chairs that have nobody in them?
No, it's because his movie that he made in 1951, Mick.
Yeah.
You know what movie it is.
Which one?
I can't think of the title off the top of my head. I just freaking seen it, but I know I really enjoyed that movie.
Hold on.
And I would watch that again over Gran Torino, let's say. I did enjoy that one. I remember seeing that back in the day.
What did he direct? Yeah, he was born in 1896. Jesus. 1951. Oh, The Thing from Another World. That's right. He did direct that.
Yep.
So horror director. There you go. So at least the horror director went forward. Yeah, I mean, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, El Dorado, Rio Lobo, which are actually remakes of Rio Bravo, but he directed a lot of really awesome stuff. The Big Sleep, To Have and Have Not, The Outlaw. Oh, he directed Air Force. Oh, you're gonna get Sergeant York. Great movie. This dude deserves to go ahead. Paul, you're just wrong on all cylinders.
100%.
No, I'm just. This is going to be an interesting one. Rob Reiner versus Steven Soderbergh. Now, Rob Reiner, Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, movies like that. Then you have Steven Soderbergh, Traffic, Ocean's 11. He had 2 movies come out this year with Presence and Black Bag. I thought were very good. He does more subtly toned movies that actually have very ambitious plots. Like Presence was a ghost story told from the POV of a ghost. It almost feels experimental. Black Bag is a spy movie where you never leave MI6. You only stay in like their lives, like these spies' lives that all work together to see who one of the leaks are. So it's interesting. It's very subtle and subtle takes on like what should be perceived as bigger stories. So I always liked him a lot. If I had to choose, you know what? I'm gonna tell a little story here.
Oh,
I was in film school.
Yep.
I like Steven Spielberg a lot. If you go back and listen to my reviews, I like his movies. I recommend him. Here's where I'm going to go with Rob Reiner. I was in film school, and I'm still a bitter little prick about this. I forget what it was. I was kind of annoyed. I was having a bad time at that point. I forget what it was. It was something innocuous. I went to see a movie by myself. I would do that. It always made me feel good. I went and saw Bucket List. It was the only thing that was playing. I used to go and look and just see what's playing at whatever time I showed up, and whatever's playing, I was going to see. And I saw Bucket List. It's the only thing that was playing. I get home and come back, and one of my roommates is outside, and he's talking to another guy we go to school with, and that guy was a bit pretentious. I didn't give names or anything, but he was a bit pretentious. So he was like, "Hey, what'd you go see?" And like I said, I just saw whatever was playing.
Mhm.
And I go, The Bucket List. I was like, it wasn't that bad. It was a Rob Reiner film. Jack Nicholson's in it. Morgan Freeman's in it. It's just like one of his, it was maybe more sentimental than I would want, but it was good. And the guy looks right at me and just goes, "You and I got different taste." And just because that prick said that, I'm going to push forward and vote on Rob Reiner. Out of spite. I try not to hold a grudge, but on that one, I'm going to hold a grudge. But anyway, what do you say, Paul?
This one's tough because I love Stand By Me. Like, man, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah.
I ended up going with Steven just because of the Oceans trilogy, Contagion, and I really loved No Sudden Move.
Okay.
So I got to go with Mr. Soderbergh.
All right. What do you got for me, Sturdy?
Misery, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride.
That's fair.
That's my answer.
Okay. All right. And honestly, both great arguments. You guys put up better arguments than I did. All I said was this guy said something and I got mad.
I mean, if Nicolas Cage was the director, you know I'm automatically never picking him, so I get it.
That's fair.
That's so sad, Sturdy.
I just don't like him.
I like Nicolas Cage. This is a clear, decisive winner, in my opinion. The man won 4 Academy Awards for Best Director, and nobody has done it since. John Ford, director of Stagecoach, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, The Searchers. I've named in those 3. I've named all westerns. None of those are what he won the Academy Awards for. He won Academy Awards for non-Western movies, even though he's famous for being Western. He won for movies like The Informer. He won for movies like How Green Was My Valley, the Quiet Man. He made so many truly brilliant and amazing movies, and he was one of the pioneers during the silent era of ushering in what filmmaking was to become. So I would be hard pressed to push him out right now. In fact, I'd argue it. I might even I didn't even think of a veto power, but I might even put in a veto power if you two vote for Michael Powell. Nothing against the man. I like Michael Powell, The Red Shoes. What else do you direct? Oh, Black Narcissist, Peeping Tom, great horror film you guys would love. Michael Powell is a great filmmaker. But John
Ford.
Yeah. That was the one. That was the one where I was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna. I don't know if I'm ever
Tom
gonna.
was a fun movie. I'm picking Peeping Tom.
Fun?
That was a fun movie. Yeah. I remember doing that last year for my TikTok stuff for the Black and Whites. That was one of the movies I was on there.
Nice. All right. Next up, we got Denis Villeneuve. I never say his name right now. I always apologize for that. He directed Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, The Dune Part 1 and 2. Countless wonderful movies that are out. He would have been on my number 1, but he's been around for like 25 years. He just fit outside of that 15 year, but he is just a brilliant filmmaker, and I wouldn't mind if he directed everything personally. But then he goes up against Mike Nichols, The Graduate, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Working Girl. Mike Nichols is almost royalty in the film industry with the movies he's directed and put together. The Graduate was such a huge movie. I'm going to argue. All right, here's where I'm going to make up for forcing John Ford. And who else did I force? Over Rob Reiner over Soderbergh. Who Soderbergh I think is technically a better director, but I think Rob Reiner's a better actor's director personally. Anyway, that's just me. I'm going to go with Denny. I think he's done so many. I think he's an auteur on the level of like a Nolan or like that. Like just as one, like a Ryan Coogler. I think he's up there, and he's going to be remembered as the upper echelon of greatness. What about you guys?
Oh, Dennis, 100%, because Sicario, Dune, Prisoners.
And I didn't even name those. Oh, I named Dune, but Prisoners. I didn't even name like Sicario, which is probably my favorite film. We
just watched that literally last night. Like I forgot how good it was. We're probably gonna watch the second one tonight. I was like, holy shit, I forgot how good this one was.
What would you go with, Sturdy? What would be yours?
Actually, Mike, Wolf in the Birdcage.
The Birdcage is pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That's hard to argue. I don't feel bad.
Wrong, but it's okay.
No, it's not wrong.
And again, I'm going by what I've seen from these guys. Like some people, if I haven't seen their stuff,
yeah,
right,
no,
so I
that's fair.
can't go by that.
All right, Roman Polanski versus James Mangold. Here's the thing: Roman Polanski in real life is a monster. He's disgusting as a human being. He had sex with a 13-year-old girl. I'm not going to cover that up.
Is he Rosemary's Baby guy?
Yes. He did Rosemary's Baby.
Yep.
I think he did Manos, Hands of Fate.
Rush Hour.
He didn't do Rush Hour.
Did the
Roman
first one.
Polanski?
Yeah.
No, that was Brett Ratner did Rush Hour. He might have been in Rush Hour, actually.
Well, in it as an actor?
He might have been. I don't remember well enough. Like he's shown up in movies before. And it wouldn't surprise me if he was maybe a mentor to Brett Ratner, because Brett Ratner is sort of a monster too. And in my opinion, Rush Hour is the only good movie he's ever done, but that's just me. And that's probably more so because you have Jackie Chan on there, had been making movies for like 40 years beforehand, and was like, I know how to make a Jackie Chan movie. Anyway, Roman Polanski, I think, is the better director. James Mangold, of course, just did the newest Indiana Jones film. But whereas, okay, so here's why Polanski gets it for me. Rosemary's Baby, Chinatown, he did The Pianist.
The what?
The Pianist.
The Pianist.
With
piano.
Adrian Brody. He's a
I
Holocaust.
just
He did The Pianist. And then you go over to James Mangold, directing one of the newest Indiana Jones film, Logan, which is a great film, Walk the Line, Ford versus Ferrari. Those are probably his three best films, in my opinion. But
really,
yeah. What else?
I was gonna say 310 to Yuma, Night and Day.
Those movies,
Mm-hmm.
like Logan.
Yeah, I said 310 to Yuma, Night and Day, and Identity.
I'm not mad
at Identity. I loved Identity. God bless.
I would all good films, and like I don't take anything away, and show how good of a filmmaker he is and a director. The only thing I would take away from that is like it's like these movies, like Walk the Line.
Yeah.
That was an upper echelon movie. Like that was an Academy movie. And that was an Academy movie that actually deserved it, where they usually give out some that don't. I don't know. You named some good ones though. I like that. But I might have to go just Chinatown alone.
Right.
Polanski.
Well, it's hard because you just brought up how much of a monster he is, and I'm like, yeah, he is a piece of shit. But
oh yeah, but that's why I'll never give him his movies will never get a 10 out of 10 for me. Could they have? Yes. But you were wrong, sir. And I don't appreciate you. So I say Polanski, you say Potato. What do we say together? What do you got for us, Sturdy? Who do you think?
Well, I agree with you guys on this one.
We're both
what?
You're the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Polanski. That's the last name I heard.
Oh, because why? Because Rosemary's?
No, not because of Rosemary's. Just in general, the films that I was just scrolling through, I like them better.
Fair, but that's a good one. And your argument is pretty good. With that, Identity almost swayed me.
I love that movie.
That is a great movie. It's hard to argue. It's such an underrated movie, in my opinion, too. This is a good one. Michael Mann and George Miller. No. Stay the same. Stay where you are. Go back. There we go. So for anybody who doesn't know, George Miller directed Mad Max. He directed all the Mad Maxes except I don't know if he directed the last one, the Furiosa. He probably did, but I have to double check it. He directed the Mad Max worlds and Babe Pig in the City. Tons of others too. Go check him out. He's an Australian filmmaker. And then of course we have him up against Michael Mann, who did Heat. Oh God, what else has he done? Michael Mann did The Insider, Collateral, with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. I might go Mann.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Who directed that?
The gentleman you're talking about now.
No, I thought it was Hal Ashby. Directed Smokey and the Bandit.
He's on the list. Was he in it? 1977, Smokey and the Bandit. Is he an actor?
You're on the wrong list.
Oh, listen, I'm just going to Michael Mann movies.
No, there might be a different George Miller. Oh, Michael Mann? No, he might have worked on it. He never directed it. He was too young for that. Oh, Hal Needham, not Hal Ashby. I got them mixed up. I'm gonna go Michael Mann. Heat alone. What do you got?
I went George Miller because of the Twilight Zone movie and Witches of Eastwick.
Okay. All right. Well, you're a horror guy.
And on top of Mad Max, just not trying to name all of the same movies, but I love all the Mad Max movies except for the last one.
Yeah. What do you got for me, Sturdy Bird?
I'm gonna go Michael Mann.
Man, I'm surprised you didn't say it for The Keep. Another horror movie.
It was okay. I really enjoyed Ali when I seen that.
Oh yeah, he did a great job with Ali. I mean, Heat alone for me is a phenomenal. Man, that might even be a top 20 movie for me. George Miller's a great director, though, and deserves those. Oh, Jean-Luc Godard. All right, French New Wave. If you don't know him, Jean-Luc Godard, Alphaville, Breathless, Weekend. Now, if you're into the French New Wave and French filmmaking, you might love him. I don't think he's going to get too far on this list if he goes ahead, personally. I think Peckinpah is a better representative of general mainstream filmmaking. Very violent, but whereas Goddard was very experimental. And that's a great thing. And I give a lot of credit to experimental filmmakers. But this one for me, just kind of his movies for me, they're so experimental. You have to be a fan of what you're watching, in my opinion. If you're a cinephile, I think you really enjoy him. If you're just a passing movie fan, I don't know that you're going to be too much into it. But I do think you'd be into anything Peckinpah has done. Straw Dogs, The Wild Bunch, Convoy. What else does he do? He did so many freaking movies. What we got? Wild Bunch, Straw Dogs, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. He's done tons of stuff. It's mostly very violent. And it was a way for him to sort of show a different countercultural side of America, really, and the more violent, built in blood sort of America. I love Peckinpah. I thought he was great, but he was a hard-nosed dude. What do you say, Paul?
I say Peckinpah because I really love Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Deadly Companions.
Both solid flicks. How about you, Sturdy?
I'm just gonna go with your guys' pick for this one.
Yeah, I think great pick. Again, Jean-Luc Godard, if you're a cinephile, might be right up your alley. I like him. I like his films. I like the experimentation that he did with them, especially for the time. But overall, I know who's winning this one.
Oh.
But before we get there, you got to go Darren Aronofsky.
You know who's winning this one.
Darren Aronofsky and Bong Joon-ho. I'll be with Bong Joon-ho.
Really? Okay.
I like Aronofsky, but I think he has more misses than he has hits. I don't think he does anything that truly blows us away. He's done movies like Requiem for a Dream, which is interesting, and it's a good perspective on drug use. But I think it's groundbreaking for an independent film, which it was. But I don't think it's a groundbreaking film. That's why it's a word of mouth film. That's why it became this. Oh, you got to check this out. Black Swan, great movie. But again, another one that's one of his best. The Wrestler is one of his best. Mother, That's a hard direction the other way.
The Whale, though, he did The Whale,
which is a good movie, but comparatively to like Black Swan or The Wrestler, it's more on the level of like like a Requiem for a Dream. Maybe not even, because it doesn't have the interest of the drug usage and all the different perspectives. I have to go Bong Joon-ho. I said it, Mickey 17. He's one of my top new directors now. He also did Parasite. What else has he done? Parasite. I think I have a list. And The Host. The Host is a great movie. So that's horror for you. They both did sort of horror. What do you say, Paul?
I got to go with Darren for The Fountain and Requiem for a Dream. And the Fighter. I forgot about that one.
Okay. I mean, listen, I won't be upset if he goes ahead. Bong Joon-ho for me. Sturdy of the tiebreaker we got.
I guess Bonju.
Are you just going with mine, or are you going?
Yeah, he's just going with Mick every time. He's like, okay.
You're going with me. You can't go with me every time.
Some of them I'm literally just picking whoever for some.
Okay.
I haven't seen their things.
Well, you lost this one, Paul, only because of Sturdy.
Or enough of their things.
No, I'm down with it. Listen, like that's how we used to play this back in the day. That was the rule. Didn't matter if you got a third person. If tiebreaker always went to whatever the third person said. So I love it, and it's going to give us an interesting list. We're almost there.
Do we have to debate this next one? Because
do we really have to debate this next one?
That's what I'm asking. I'm asking you. You're the wild card tonight, not me.
No, I'm the wild. No, Sturdy's the wild card. I mean, it's gonna be Kubrick for me, and I think I know it's Kubrick for you. Sturdy, 100%. What do you say?
Yep.
I will give credit to Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone directed films such as let's see if I have a list up. Platoon, Born on the 4th of July, JFK, World Trade Center. He did a lot of films. He's a good filmmaker. I don't think he's as great as people give him credit for. He did Wall Street, things like that. So he's interesting. He tells interesting stories about very conspiracy-based things, or his stance on a lot of things. So I got to go with Kubrick, whose scope was just brilliant and amazing. Of course, 2001, Clockwork Orange, The Shining. I mean, I can go on forever, but honestly, he's one of the best filmmakers of all time. If
The
not
Shining,
the best.
The Shining is another movie for me, like Jaws, where I can only watch that every few years. It's not something I can watch a lot, and probably even less than Jaws.
It's crazy.
I have to watch that a lot. It's a brilliant film, in my opinion. And it scares me the older I get.
Watch it like once a month, Sturdy, if not more.
I enjoy it.
That's a lot.
If I watch it too much, I'll get bored. So I have to watch it like every few years.
That's interesting. I like that, though.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of the same with Jaws. I'm just like, I appreciate it more. So you just kind of, maybe as you get older or whatever. I don't know what it is. I can't, like, that's not something. I know you guys say you watch both of those films a lot. I can't.
That's fair. Stanley Kubrick it is then, right?
Yep.
We're good. Mm-hmm. All right. Did I put it over there already? Oh, yeah, I did. All right, good. I thought I made it. All right. Billy Wilder versus Martin Scorsese.
Come on.
Before we say anything,
be serious.
Billy Wilder directed Some Like It Hot, Sunset Boulevard, The Apartment, Double Indemnity. I could go on. Before I do, he's going up against Martin Scorsese, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Mean Streets, Raging Bull. Another one I can go on. Before I choose, what say you, Paul?
I mean, I already love all of his mafia type movies, so it was probably a sad decision. But I just recently watched a deep dive into Shutter Island. And it gave me a huge appreciation for everything he kind of put in that film for like symbolizing, fire meant this, or, this was symbolizing that, like just a deeper dive that I just didn't see that was completely there, and it made complete sense. And I was like, wow, like kind of Kubrick-esque, and how his mind works, and a movie I've seen hundreds of times that I've never thought of that way. I got to watch, and it was almost like watching it for the first time again. So 100% for that.
All right, Scorsese. What about you, Sturdy? What would you choose?
Oh, definitely Scorsese, hands down.
All right. The reason I made you two go first because I knew it was going to be Scorsese. I'm choosing Billy Wilder, but I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to argue for Billy Wilder, and I'm going to see if I can sway one or two of your votes. Billy Wilder is arguably one of the greatest directors of all time. I talked up John Ford like it was a no-brainer earlier. I think Billy Wilder is on the same level as John Ford. Billy Wilder was putting out movies that, even more so because John Ford did have a niche. Again, he did outside of Westerns plenty of times. We've seen it. But his were still steeped in the same myth and lore and vibe that the Westerns held. The same like sort of mythos that he's trying to put forth about America and things like that. Whereas Billy Wilder was almost telling a different tale, a more contemporary view of current society that he was living in and how it looked, how it shined on people. Sunset Boulevard is one of the best movies ever made. Often compared to a film noir, and I do think that it does fit within that realm, almost adjacent, but it is one of the greatest dramas and also one of the greatest mysteries. It's a fantastic movie. If people haven't seen, or thrillers, I should say, that may be more than mysteries, but it is truly just a brilliant, brilliant film. And Billy Wilder and Double Indemnity is the best. Arguably, I could say Third Man maybe is first sometimes, but I go back and forth between Double Indemnity and The Third Man is the greatest film noir of all time. Billy Wilder has put out so many movies. If you have not had a chance to check out a Billy Wilder movie, I've only said 3. I'm going to give you some more right now. And just to show you how influential this man was. Some Like It Hot, Sunset Boulevard, The Apartment, I said, Double Indemnity, Sabrina, Witness for the Prosecution. Brilliant film. The 7-Year Itch, The Lost Weekend, which, Paul, you would love that. And that's not being like, it's just a brilliant film. I think you'd really love it. Ace in the Hole, The Front Page, Stalag 17, Fortune Cookie. I believe he did The Odd Couple too. I have to double check that, but he worked a lot with different people. I realize I'm arguing a lot for this man, but I think he deserves it. That's me personally. But you guys did choose Martin Scorsese, so if I haven't swayed any votes, tell me now and I'll move them forward.
Nah. Sorry.
The only way I'm going to win you over is if you actually watch Billy Wilder movies. That's the only way. And I think if
I wrote down that movie. I will watch that, Mick. You know I will.
I'll give you a whole list of movies. Just watch any Billy Wilder movie. But just if you watch the ones I gave you, my heart hurts a little bit about that one. All right.
You're gonna like this next one on why I'm gonna argue it, Mick. You're gonna be like, the fuck is wrong with
Who do you choose?
Peter Jackson, Dead Alive.
You both choose Peter Jackson?
For Dead Alive, yeah. Not even for Lord of the Rings.
Paul Thomas Anderson?
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights.
There was a lot of blood in Dead Alive.
Yeah.
They didn't have to tell us.
I
would
can't
you?
believe
Meet the Feebles.
I can't believe that.
He did Meet the Feebles too. Oh
Are you
yeah,
kidding
Peter Jackson.
me?
Peter
Are you
Jackson all the
kidding
way.
me?
No, I'm being dead serious.
That's all right. I love Meet the Feebles. I'm sorry, man. You know what? Puppets, Mick. I'm sorry. Look, they get me. I get them. Puppets.
Over this is the greatest directors of all time bracket. And
Yeah.
and here's the thing. I'm not saying you're wrong to choose Peter Jackson over Paul Thomas Anderson. Lord of the Rings, King Kong, The Frighteners.
Oh, The Frighteners, yeah.
Brilliant films. You went with his 3 like slosh films, which don't get me wrong, as a genre fan and a horror fan, I love them.
Here's why we did it, Mick. Because
you love horror. That's it. That's the only
That's not it. That's not the only reason
You
why.
didn't even mention Lord of the Rings.
I've never seen it, but we've also seen the growth. We know the popularity myself of Lord of the Rings. We are going to eventually review it on Popcorn and Pints.
What?
But you
haven't seen Lord of the Rings?
That kind of blows my mind.
The very first time I went to go see it in theaters with my older brother, I fell asleep. I was bored. But I'm going to try again.
You need to watch
Dead
the
Alive,
director's
though.
cut. Oh,
that's going to be so much longer.
It is, but they're so great. Oh, my God.
Nah.
I'm not mad. I'm not offended that you guys picked Peter Jackson. I'm offended you picked Peter Jackson for not like the monumental scope directing movie.
Yeah, but
he's directed. I should say.
That's to other people. We're going with what we really, really enjoyed.
I hate you guys.
See?
Yeah.
So, Paul,
Listen,
your sturdy is only for you argument doesn't exist anymore. Sturdy's in it for himself.
You chose this.
I'm just glad you've seen Meet the Feebles. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know you saw that.
We reviewed that on
yeah,
Popcorn and Pints. That one and I can't think of it. It was another one with puppets in it that was hilarious. Like, oh my
Happy
goodness.
Time Murders.
Yes.
I fucking love that
Yes.
shit. No puppets, man.
That movie had me. The trailer alone had me beating my chest.
I'm not doing this. I will kick you both off of my director's bracket right now. If we start talking about Meet the Feeble, I'm still sore. Sore on that one. And again, I'm not sore that Peter Jackson went ahead. I'm sore that you argued for Peter Jackson over Paul Thomas Anderson using Meet the Feebles.
Mick, you being such a film lover, you should love our deep dive into why we chose the films we chose. A lot of people are just going to pick the surface stuff, the Hollywood stuff. No, we dove deep. We dug in the crates.
I didn't pick the Hollywood. Well, King Kong, but no, but it's more Lord of the Rings. And I said the Frighteners.
I don't think the next bracket's fair.
The next bracket. Oh, I know who you're going to pick too. Oh, I know who you two are going to pick.
I don't think you do.
Okay, I hope I'm wrong.
Do you want me to go first?
Try. First off, I'm going to give the name. I'm going to name the movies each director has directed. Of course, we know M. Night Shyamalan, The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Lady in the Water, tons of movies. Still has movies coming out. He's great. Good on him. Then you have Francis Ford Coppola, The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, The Conversation, The Godfather Part 2. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to appeal to my base here. I can't not go with Francis Ford Coppola. Yes, Metropolis sucked. Yes, Twix sucked. Yes, Jack sucked. But he made some monumentally amazing films that are on scope. And The Godfather, in my opinion, is the greatest film ever made.
Mm-hmm. I'm not disagreeing. I agree with you.
Okay.
And American Graffiti. I love both those.
There you go. Well, I think that was George Lucas, wasn't it?
I thought that was him.
No, Coppola, I think, produced it for Lucas, but Lucas, that was his first film. Because Lucas was Coppola's assistant and learned from Coppola.
Yes.
And Coppola helped him build up.
But yeah, Godfather alone, I mean, that's it.
All right. I'm not going to say another tidbit I have about Coppola until after we vote. I'm going Coppola. Paul, what are you going with?
Coppola.
Sturdy, what do you say?
I guess M. Night by default because I've seen this stuff, but a lot of his stuff I actually don't like.
Can you argue that Godfather's amazing?
I've never seen it. I've never seen the Godfather movie, so I can't. I'm not even going to throw an argument for it.
But you've seen Goodfellas?
Well, I can see that, though. I can see that and like Departed.
That's interesting, though.
Remember.
Can I put together?
Do you like mafia movies?
I do.
But that's
do you like movies about family?
It depends on how that family movie is, because those can be corny and boring.
Best ever made.
You need to see The Godfather.
You need to see The Godfather and The Godfather 2, which is arguably just as good. Or sometimes
The Godfather trilogy is on the P&P wheel, so I will eventually get to those.
I am in it to win it on that one. I can't wait. The Godfather is brilliant.
This can't be a competition.
Honestly, like if you were really knowing that, though, knowing you directed The Godfather and at least knowing the impact of The Godfather, would you say against
but again, I can't go by that because, like, say if I go and watch The Godfather and I like M. Night's movies better, I'm gonna pick M. Night more, even though I'm not a big fan of M. Night.
He fucking knows that it's Nick Cage's uncle. That's why he didn't choose him.
Who?
Francis Ford Coppola. Nick Cage's name is Nicholas Coppola.
Well,
you know who his aunt is and Francis Ford Coppola's sister? Talia Shire, who played Adrian in the Rocky movies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like all family. I think we know who wins this next one. Spielberg versus Werner Herzog. I love Herzog, but he is an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Fitzcarraldo, Grizzly Man. Grizzly Man just came out like 20 years ago or so. That's a pretty hard one. There's a lot of them, but yeah, it's Spielberg.
Yeah.
Like, I think we all agree on that one, right?
Uh-huh.
Sturdy's like Herzog.
Hell no.
He's like, let me
E.T.
tell you something. One day I just watched Herzog marathon on TV. It was all in. It's just been
E.T.
him ever since.
That wins it alone for me.
Yeah, okay. E.T. And plus Jaws. I mean, we did spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
All right.
Jaws 3 to be exact.
Before you give this next one, which is just to mention, it's John Hughes versus John Huston. I'm not saying I'm not with the one that you're choosing, but I do want to point out that John Huston directed The Maltese Falcon, The Treasure of Sierra Madre, and The African Queen. Now, if any of you are asking, what are those? They're fantastic films. But go ahead. I don't know that I'm sort of undecided on this one. But
I'm gonna regret what I say, but I'm going with Houston. For The Unforgiven and Moby Dick. Not gonna lie.
Okay. All
it
right.
hurts because I do love all John Hughes movies. Like, it's very confusing, but I think Houston deserves it for better director.
Okay. And what about you, Sturdy? Any dog in the fight?
I'm going with John Hughes. He's made, Home Alone 1 and 2. As far
He
as
didn't direct
non-horror,
those, he wrote it.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Breakfast Club. Did he do anything? Did he direct those?
Breakfast
Uncle Buck.
Buck.
Weird Science.
Definitely involved in all of them. If he didn't direct them, he wrote them.
That's my winner.
All right. Houston, we don't have a problem. You're going forward. I love Hughes, but I love Hughes for the same reason that I love, like, Lost Boys. It's a fun movie, but it's, he makes really fun movies, but doesn't mean they're like the best directed. Sam Raimi versus Fred Zinnemann. Just to give Zinnemann a chance. High Noon, From Here to Eternity, and A Man for All Seasons. All Best Picture winners. No, High Noon maybe not Best Picture winner. I have to double check that. It came out 52. I don't think it won Best Picture, but it was it's actually the greatest Western ever made. It's hard to argue against these three movies, having seen them, having known them, knowing who Fred Zinnemann is. But I know what it's going to be. I'm going to be outvoted here. And I'm not upset about it because I love Sam Raimi. Go ahead. Take your pick.
Oh, you're right with me. Sam Raimi.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it forward.
This one is going to be Sam Raimi, yeah.
I'm not going to even argue it. You know why I'm not going to argue it? Because I feel like a lot of people who watch this or listen to this are probably really upset about the John Hughes. And I'm telling you, people, that's out of nostalgia. He is not as good a director as John Huston. Go give him a chance. But if it was a writer's list, John Hughes might have gone forward. All right, Charlie Chaplin, of course, all of his movies. The Great Dictator, Modern Times, The Tramp. He played The Tramp and everything, but it was The Kid and the Tramp or something. City Lights, so many great movies. But then you have Jonathan Demme. I don't even want to say that one. It's going to immediately seal the deal for you guys. Philadelphia, The Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs doesn't seal it for me.
Oh,
the Manchurian Candidate does. I like that one way better than Silence of the Lambs. I think Silence of the Lambs is overrated. It's good, but it's overrated.
Okay. All right. What about you, Paul?
Oh, I'm going to Charles for The Kid and the Great Dictator.
The Kid. I called it The Tramp. It was The Kid. People are going to get mad at me. I'm going to go with Jonathan Demme.
Fuck. Sorry.
Here's why. Charlie Chaplin, truly amazing. It was a silent error. When it comes to acting, his direction was very much product of the times, and he was the one that shined in every one of his movies. And he was also the director. Not that it's not hard work, but he wasn't really directing himself.
Okay.
It's
fair.
and like I said, he was given the best performances in his movies. So what does that say? Whereas Jonathan, to me, you watch Silence of the Lambs, you have great performances out of it. And that's what I'm judging this one on, is purely the performances. Philadelphia. I mean, it's hard to argue. So I'm going to go with Jonathan to me on this one. So I think that breaks the tie.
Damn.
And I want to put together that this is going to be an interesting 32. I'll tell you that much. I'm anxious to see. Yeah, that's what I love about these brackets when we do them. It's like you never know where it's going to end up. David Lynch versus Tim Burton.
This one's kind of tough.
This
Burton.
one's tough. Burton I get. He just died, but I might have to give it to Burton.
I know.
Better narratives
Oh.
of his stories.
Oh.
I like the weird absurdity of David Lynch. I don't love the weird absurdity of David Lynch. He was a good story builder. He was a good world builder too. I'm going to have to go Tim Burton. What do you got for me, Paul? Maybe you could sway me.
I really love David Lynch because he is weird. So I love Eraserhead and I really love Wild at Heart. And I do enjoy, I'm not saying it's the better version, but I do enjoy his version of Dune.
Oh, you're out. That automatically shot the plane out of the sky.
I'm surprised. Well, Sturdy's not going to choose Lynch just because Wild at Heart is Nicolas Cage. So, he's automatically not choosing that at all.
I didn't see that, but I didn't really care for Eraserhead, and then Tim Burton.
Batman.
My favorite two Batman films of all time.
Pee-wee, Big Fish.
By far.
Yeah.
Big Fish is what's winning it for me.
And who didn't want to go to Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Actually, he wasn't Pee-wee's Playhouse. Pee-wee's Playhouse was the TV show.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
But Pee-wee's Big Adventure, he wasn't in the same house.
Either way.
In fact, that thing was a death trap.
Did you like Wild at Heart?
Yeah, I like Wild
Just out of curiosity. Okay.
It's weird. Lost Highway is weird. Mulholland Drive is weird.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. Eraserhead's weird. Elephant Man is probably his most non-weird movie.
Which is sad.
That's saying something.
Twin Peaks, I still don't get. I've tried to watch those too many times, and I'm like, I
like them, but you gotta be a fan of his. That's the thing. If you're not a fan,
they're weird. I don't know.
Yeah, Burton has more of a scope. Like he can reach more people. Yeah, I guess so. That was a tiebreaker, right? So me and Sturdy.
I don't want to do this next one. Can I opt out?
Nope.
Well, you can be the tiebreaker.
Oh yeah, let me be the tiebreaker because this is so tough.
Oh God, I know that's going to need a tiebreaker. All right, we're going to have to debate it. Chris Nolan, Oppenheimer, Interstellar, Inception, Wes Craven, Nightmare on Elm Street, Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, Scream. I'm going to go with Chris Nolan. I think he's one of the greatest auteurs in filmmaking ever. He's also Ryan Coogler's, his protege. Like he learned the 70 millimeter IMAX scope and how to shoot on it from Christopher Nolan on a set of Sinners. Like that to me, like that's the guy. Like you can not like Tenet, but you can still argue that it's an interesting film and it looks amazing. I'm appealing to you at this point because I know what Sturdy's going to go with, which is Sturdy. Who you going with?
Honestly, it's almost a close toss up, but I have to go with Wes Craven just because the horror. That's what gives it the edge. Because I love the Batman trilogy, but it's not. If it was my favorite Batman trilogy, it would win hands down. But it's not. Okay. Or my favorite Batman movies, I should say. So I got to go with the horror because at the same time, I'm more likely to watch a Wes Craven film than I am to watch a Chris Nolan.
Okay. All right.
Tiebreaker, Paul.
Tiebreaker, Paul.
It's so tough, but we're going with best director. Like best director. Mm-hmm. If I walked out on the street and I was like, Wes Craven, name 3 movies, they might be able to name 1. But Nolan, they could probably name 5 or 6. And I mean, Interstellar, Oppenheimer, Inception, Memento. The Prestige is what does it in for me, so it's got to be Nolan. The Prestige was just, yeah. Oh, that hurts to say. I hate this.
No, like listen, Wes Craven though is in the top 64 directors. Like he deserves it. So like remember, like these are like out of all the directors of all time, like pretty solid list, to be on.
I wish he had been against Charles Chaplin, because then that would have been so easy to just be like Wes Craven.
All right, Milos Forman is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Amadeus, Man on the Moon, the Andy Kaufman movie. And then, of course, he is up against the great Brian De Palma, who Carrie, Scarface, Blowout, some of his others.
Mission Mars.
Don't throw that one out.
The Untouchables, Snake Eyes.
Untouchables, yeah.
That was in North Carolina. Whoop, whoop. Or one scene was shot out here.
Yeah, it takes place in Jersey. Yeah, so what say you, Paul? Because I'm leaning towards I'm not leaning towards anything at the moment. What say you? I think I know what Sturdy's gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with Milos just because I love Man on the Moon and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Honestly, those two are great.
Okay. What you got for me, Sturdy?
I'm gonna go with Brian. I've seen his movies.
Okay.
You haven't seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? I think you'd enjoy that, sir. It's hilarious. I mean, it's sad. It's good, but it's hilarious.
Oh, it's a good movie though, and it's got one of the greatest, like, scariest villains of all time.
Yeah, Nurse Rat. Fuck yeah.
All right, it's 10:03. We got to get going. So we're at 2 hours because I'm going live soon to play Phasmophobia. All right. So I'm gonna go Milos Forman. I like Brian De Palma. I in fact love Brian De Palma, but there are instances where he made movies that really kind of just, some of those. Sam Mendes versus Akira Kurosawa. I love Mendes. There's no way that's beating Akira Kurosawa for me. Seven Samurai alone, plus Ran, Rashomon. It's an impeccable list. What about you, Paul?
I have to agree with you on that.
Sturdy, what about you?
I have no idea. I don't know their filmography.
Oh my God, you would love Kurosawa. Poignant films about the samurai for the most part. Not all, of course, but some. Peter Weir versus Sergio Leone now, just so everybody's well aware of who they are. All right, so we have just had it. Ooh, where are you? Come back to me. Let me see where you are. Peter Weir. So Dead Poet Society, The Truman Show, Witness. Versus who did I say? Sergio Leone, who is, oh my God, Good and Bad and the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in the West, Once Upon a Time in America, Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more. I personally am going to go with Peter Weir. I think Peter Weir is a better director. Dead Poet Society, The Truman Show, fantastic movies. As much as I like Sergio Leone, he's sort of had his wheelhouse, and that's what he stuck with. And those early ones, I think they're great, and I think he was a great auteur on them, but I don't know that they were directed perfectly.
I'm gonna say Peter Weir. Peter Weir.
Sturdy Bird. Any arguments?
Nope.
All right. The next one is William Friedkin and David Cronenberg. I'm Friedkin. I will always be Friedkin. Directed movies like Sorcerer. Directed The Exorcist. Who else? Let me pull it up. Sorry. Losing my mind over here. Cronenberg was The Fly, Videodrome, History of Violence. There's a ton of movies he does. Scanners. Then, of course, you have William Friedkin, The Exorcist, French Connection, To Live and Die in L.A. I would hard argue for Friedkin. I think Friedkin's the better director, personally. Cronenberg, great body horror guy, but I think he stays in his wheelhouse too, personally. Wait, is Barry Levinson on here twice? Ruh-roh.
Oops.
Oh, well.
But I'd go with Friedkin too.
Cameron was going to win that anyway. If it was Levinson versus Cameron, I might as well just go again. You're going Friedkin too? All right.
Yeah.
Sturdy, how about you, sir? You're a body horror
Um,
guy, so I can see, but
I do like the body horror movies. I did, but I'll go with the same guy.
sounds good. I think you'd love William Friedkin's movies. All right, Levinson. So I fucked up. What are you gonna do? Let's do it. But we had 63 directors on there, and Cameron was gonna win this one anyway, personally. What about you guys? What do you think?
Cameron, The Abyss and Titanic. Hello.
Titanic was that
T2. T2 is a 10 out of 10 film in my opinion.
Titanic was terrible.
Cameron did Aliens, right?
He did
Or was it
Aliens,
Ridley
and he
Scott?
did both Terminator films. Avatar's
So, yeah.
great films. He created the last one on the list. Here we go. Sidney Lumet versus Richard Donner. I'm gonna call it out now. Sidney Lumet directed 12 Angry Men, Dog Day Afternoon, Network, countless others. Directed The Wiz.
There we go.
Richard Donner directed Superman, Lethal Weapon, The Goonies.
Ooh.
This is a big one. What do we got? What do
Richard Donner. Richard Donner for The Toy, The Lost Boys, and then the ones you mentioned too.
Donner didn't direct The Lost Boys. He
Did he
directed
not do
Goonies.
Lost Boys?
He did Goonies. Richard Donner did direct he directed Goonies. Not Lost
he
Boys
do
was Schumacher.
Okay. Did he do The Toy? Or am I wrong on that too?
Oh shit, he did Radio Flyer? Oh yeah, he wins.
Richard
That was-
Donner?
Yeah.
Boy. I don't know if he
1992.
Yeah, Richard Donner did The Toy. Yeah, for sure. Brewster's Millions, another great one. I love that movie. He did all the Lethal Weapons. First two Superman. Well, he got fired from the second one. The Omen. But it's Sidney Lumet. Oh, I'm all right. I mean, you guys picked Donner, so you guys, there's no tie. So Richard Donner is on the final 32 over Sidney Lumet. I'm not going to have a conniption fit. I'm not going to kill myself in any way, shape. Well, I'm not. I shouldn't joke about that. But theoretically speaking, though, my demeanor and my brain, Sidney Lumet not going forward is a killer. Anyway, that was our director's bracket. We did the first 64 to 32. Next week, you're going to have to tune in to hang out and do from 32 down to 8. And then the final part 3 at the end of the month will be our Elite 8, where we argue that. These are going to get harder. You may not think so. We went through these pretty quick, even though it took a while. And I'm telling you now, they're going to get harder. This 32 is going to be one where we start to argue. Then when we get down to 16, then 8, things like that, you're going to really see sparks fly because you're going to want to know who number 1 is going to be. You're going to want to tune in for that. We had a really good time with this tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Be sure to join back next time, 8 p.m. Eastern next week. Also, a new episode and first episode of Monster Video. You're going to have to come out and check it out with us and Sturdy. He's the hostess with the mostest, our host for the new generation, and you're going to love him. And first movie up, we're going to watch Curse of the Swamp Monster. But also, before we go, I do have a couple of things to run by you, and I'm going to kick you guys out for a second. Well, actually, I'm just going to make myself big if that's all right with you guys. So here we go. Everybody, it's time for the next movie pick from 1993, Jurassic Park. That's right. We're doing blockbusters this month. Every one of our classic film reviews is going to be on our blockbuster movies. This week we did Razor Lost Ark. The week before we did Jaws. Next week is Jurassic Park. Make sure to look out for that on our classic film reviews, where we go a little bit behind the scenes and talk about some of the inner workings of Jurassic Park. And also I share my review on the movie. I want to say thank you guys for joining in and hanging out with that. But also, if you like, go and check out our Does It Suck for the week. We did Jaws 3. All right. But now it's time for Film Definitions with Mick, a new segment we have on the show where I take an old book that I had from college and I pick out a random film fact or definition to share with you. Expanded cinema. Contemporary experimental films that employ such modern technology as the computer, laser, holograph, and synthesizer. when was this book written? Gene Youngblood is in his book Expanded Cinema 1970 claims that such films must be seen as part of our environment and as a means of expanding our consciousness of contemporary existence. That is your definition for this week of expanded cinema. I want to say thank you to my wonderful guest, Sir Sturdy. Thank you to my co-host, Paul, who was here throughout. We did this. We got it down to 32. We'll be back next week. Paul, you got anything you want to say before we leave?
Hey, we all made it through the fourth. We all got 10 fingers. So congratulations, gentlemen. Keep watching, keep listening, keep enjoying the magic of movies. Leave us your comments. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell me when I'm wrong a lot. Debate us. Come up with your own brackets. I'd love to hear some of y'all's brackets against each other, or different directors you want to put against each other. So just leave them in the comments or send us messages on our Discord or anything like that.
Hard to argue. Thank you again, my friend. And I want to say, go check out our good buddy Sturdy's channel, Sturdovision channel. It's your one-stop shop for all things horror and everything in between.
Right.
All the weird, all the crazy, all the fun. Go check them out. Also check us out on Popcorn and Pints, which will be all new tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We're watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and we're going to be talking about that. And I have a lot of insider facts about that, and I think you'll enjoy it. So,
that's going to be a nasty episode tomorrow. Tune in, people. Tune in. Paul, if you could be there, come and join us.
Exactly. But we're going to get going because Sturdy and I are going to be going live playing Phasmophobia because we have a challenge tomorrow night. We're going to be doing their weekly challenge, and it gets pretty scary and pretty hard. And I hope you guys can come in and watch it and hang out with us and have a good old time. But we're going to get ready to start practicing and do some things with that. Paul, maybe if you can join in, please feel free. Until next time, everybody, I want to say thank you to my friends here for being a part of it. Thank you to all of you for watching, listening, and supporting the Scene Snobs. Be back next week. Make sure to follow for more, subscribe for more, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.